BioNTech, Gilead, Merck and AbbVie are heading to Seoul for what's shaping up to be the defining lung cancer showdown of the year. The International Association for the Study of Lung Cancer's World Conference on Lung Cancer, WCLC 2026, running September 12th through 15th. 7,000 international thoracic oncology specialists are expected to converge on Seoul's COEX Convention Center to see over 2,300 abstracts, covering the latest advances in antibody-drug conjugates, bispecific immunotherapies, and targeted treatments for both non-small cell lung cancer and small cell lung cancer, with over 130 sessions and workshops spanning the 4-day meeting. Here's what's driving the most attention at Seoul. Merck and Gilead are walking into the conference with what they've already publicly flagged as a negative result that still deserves a careful read. Merck's blockbuster Keytruda was being tested in combination with Gilead's TROP2 antibody-drug conjugate, Trodelvy. The Phase 3 trial was called Keynote D46, also known as EVOKE-03. The study enrolled 620 previously untreated metastatic lung cancer patients whose tumors expressed high levels of PD-L1 and randomized them to get either Keytruda alone or Keytruda plus Gilead's Trodelvy, a drug that works by attaching a chemotherapy payload directly to a cancer cell's TROP2 protein. Merck and Gilead discontinued the trial after an interim analysis showed that while the combination produced a numerical improvement in how long patients lived without disease progression compared with Keytruda monotherapy, that improvement didn't reach statistical significance. The safety profile was good, no new warning signals, but the efficacy just wasn't there. The companies say the External Data Monitoring Committee determined that hitting a statistically significant overall survival benefit at the planned final analysis was unlikely, so they stopped it. What cardiologists in Seoul will be hunting for in the full data is whether there were specific patient subgroups where the combination actually worked, and whether any lessons here can be applied to other TROP2 ADCs in development. BioNTech is walking into Seoul with something completely different: the first ever global data combining a PD-1 VEGF bispecific checkpoint inhibitor with a B7H3 targeting antibody-drug conjugate. The two drugs in question are pumitamig, a PD-1 crossed with VEGF-A that BioNTech developed in partnership with Bristol Myers Squibb, and adizutecan, a B7H3 targeting AC that BioNTech developed with Duality Biologics. Neither agent is a new molecule in isolation, but putting them together in the same patient for the first time is exactly the kind of rational combination that both companies hope will matter. The data come from a global Phase 1-2 trial testing pumitamig plus adizutecan in patients with advanced non-small cell or small cell lung cancer. BioNTech says that across all its clinical trials, more than 1,000 patients have now been dosed with adizutecan alone across more than 10 tumor types, and 400 of those patients received the combination of adizutecan with pumitamig. What Seoul will reveal is whether that early combination hypothesis actually pans out. AbbVie is bringing another bispecific show. AbbVie's ABBV-1480, a PD-1 VEGF bispecific, is being tested in combination with standard chemotherapy in previously untreated patients with non-small cell lung cancer. The trial data will be presented as an oral presentation, a sign of how seriously the conference organizers view this program. AbbVie is also updating the field on telisotuzumab adizutecan, an AC targeting c-Met, which has been showing activity in both NSCLC and small cell lung cancer, plus additional reads on ABBV-706, another bispecific in the growing pipeline. Beyond the headline grabbers, WCLC 2026 is packed with older programs too. There's a presidential symposium dedicated to Maverick, a trial testing whether certain SCLC patients benefit from regular brain MRI scans, and maybe a round of prophylactic radiation to try to prevent cancer from settling in the brain. There's also TAISHAN 302, A Chinese-led trial comparing an anti-B7H3 antibody drug conjugate called Tampeli against the standard chemotherapy topotecan in patients whose small cell lung cancer came back after first-line treatment. The broader picture at WCLC 2026 is a field in transition. Merck and Keytruda have dominated first-line lung cancer for years, but the Gilead-Merck combination shows that just adding a TROP2 AG to an already approved checkpoint inhibitor doesn't automatically work, even in the highest PD-L1 expression group. Meanwhile, BioNTech and AbbVie are betting that newer combination architectures, bispecifics paired with ADCs, bispecifics paired with chemotherapy, represent a real step forward. If either BioNTech or AbbVie can show benefit in Seoul, it signals that the next wave of lung cancer progress moves away from just giving more of the same and toward smarter, more rational pairs. That is the story of World Conference on Lung Cancer WCLC 2026. BioNTech, Gilead, Merck, AbbVie headline ADC, and bispecific breakthroughs in NSCLC and SCLC. Add your perspective in the comments, share this story with a colleague, and subscribe for the next conference hype narrative.